So I was talking a few moments ago about going to the resort in Turks and Caicos, and they said there would be a fireworks display at 9 p.m. because, and we found out from the bartender later that there was a marriage proposal planned.
Yeah.
So my question is, you have fireworks. I mean, obviously, other things were planned. I'm sure they had a big meal, lots of wine and stuff, all planned out. Maybe on the beach, a little private area. I don't know what else they had planned, but what if you go to that extravagant planning and then the person you ask to marry you says, I don't know.
I can't even. I mean, I wonder if at that point you don't even care about the money you spent. You're just so devastated that the person said no that you're not even thinking about that stuff. I don't know. I don't know.
So the fireworks, sure enough, boom, they were beautiful. So I'm assuming it was a yes.
Yeah.
And maybe he was sort of 90% sure she would say yes before he ordered expensive fireworks. I don't know.
The worst would have to be on like one of those big kiss cams or whatever at like a stadium, like a baseball game or a basketball game or whatever.
Right.
And then they say no because that is going to make its way all over
Well,
social
it has,
media.
though. There are videos where people are saying no on those kiss cam for proposals. Anyway, so Samantha, we caught your text roll by, Samantha.
Yes.
And hello. So you actually were in sort of a position like this. Someone asked you to marry them, right?
Yes. And I was 22. I was definitely not ready to be married. But how do you say no?
Well, what did you say?
I wasn't comfortable. I said yes.
No, wait, let me ask you a question. How elaborate was the proposal that you felt that you had to say yes?
I was at work, and he came to my work with all my other employees around.
Oh, God.
How do you? And so I felt so guilty and so bad. I just said yes. I don't complain about mayonnaise on my burger. I can't say no to somebody asking me to marry them.
Did you go ahead with the marriage?
No. We were together for 2 months, and about a month later, I just had to slowly pull myself out of it.
Wow. See, there are two sides to this story. Let's go to his side for just a moment.
Okay.
Even though he's not on the phone.
Yeah.
You really shouldn't put anyone in that position in front of their coworkers or on a camera and then ask them to marry you. That wasn't fair for you, Samantha.
What do you think
Absolutely.
why do you think he was so convinced that you were going to say yes?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I think it was really selfish because it's nothing we've talked about before. So I think he was just wanting me forever. I have no idea.
Oh, God. I mean, which is even, and you said you were only together for a couple of months?
Yes. So,
and see, that makes it worse. You after a couple of months of dating, you ask me to marry you, and it's just
it's kind of creepy.
Yeah, very creepy. I mean, now you're definitely not going to spend more quality time with him. You're like, ugh, get away.
Yeah, go away, turn off, bye. Yeah.
Ugh.
And so, did your friends at work know that you were not being completely honest with him?
It was a running joke. They would say, "So you're engaged?" And I'm like, "I guess. I think so. I don't know." I just couldn't take it serious. So it was. I know it should have been a joke, but it was a running thing. Like people would always say, "Like you're engaged." I'm like, "Yeah, I think."
Oh my God.
Well, and the other thing is, poor guy. Obviously, in his mind and in his life, he felt you were going to say yes, and so you were definitely in two separate lanes driving down the highway of love.
Yeah.
But so I feel badly for him too. I don't want to sit here and make him out to be a bad guy.
But it's better off that you didn't go through with it and then wind up being miserable and then having to get divorced. I mean, in the long run, you kind of saved him all that.
So Scary thinks you did. No, you did.
That's the way to see it as positive, Danielle.
No, but that's the proposal is one thing. The actual wedding is another. But Scary says that he would have done the same thing. Hey, you're on stage. People are watching. Yeah. You want to diffuse a possible uncomfortable moment.
Yeah. How would you say no though? How do you how could you? I could not do it.
I don't know.
My body wouldn't say no.
It's so easy for us to sit here and assume what we would do, but we're not in that position. I don't know. I would just.
I mean, I know somebody who, when they got to the altar, somebody had said to them, "Are you sure you want to do this?" And their answer was, "I'm too far in now to not do it."
Oh.
Yep.
That's bad.
I remember them being asked that question. I remember that answer, and I was like, "Oh, geez." I mean, they're still together, so maybe things did work out. But yeah, that was the
Ooh. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
I
don't know.
Well, I'm glad you backed out of that parking space.
Oh my
Samantha.
God.
I
Thank
know.
God.
Hey, thanks for texting in. Have a good day. Thanks for listening to us.
Thank you too.
Take it easy. Take it easy. Yeah, I don't know.
Hmm.
You know, because we've been talking about the possibility of, one day getting married, whatever, and it's just we're still kind of gun shy on that. Well, who's going to ask who
Yeah.
and when is right? And I don't know.
Does it have to be elaborate, or do you want it just nice and
No.
quiet?
I don't think it has to be
Like
elaborate.
if he called me one day and said, "Hey, I want to propose on the show tomorrow," should I tell him no?
No, tell him no. No.
You sure?
He would
That's
never.
a bad idea.
He would never do that.
Hold on, let me text him back.
Oh Lord. Oh God. So last night at the Oscars. I'm sorry. Who was that? Okay, I'm going to talk one thing about the Oscars last night about our friends Benj and Justin, and their song was up for Best Original Song, and they didn't win in the category, but they were nominated. They were there, and Kayala Settle kicked ass when she performed that. Everyone was loving it. All right, let's go to Amy. Hi, Amy.
Hi.
Hello. So, how far in the proposal did it get with you?
Oh, he did the whole thing. I just kind of stood there like, what is going on right now?
Well, set it up though. How many people were there? Where was it? Like, what was it? Set the
It
table.
I live in Virginia right now, so I was at this place called Great Falls. It's beautiful, like Big Falls in Virginia, between Virginia and Maryland. Like one of my favorite places to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I was with my boyfriend. Like we had broken up. I was with my boyfriend at the time. My ex called me, and he's like, hey, like, we need to talk. Can you come home early? And I was like, all right, not a problem. He's like, okay, drives me out there, and he's like, look, and it's like, will you marry me, Amy, and rocks? And I was just like,
Wait, he wrote it in rocks?
rocks?
On the beach?
Yes.
Oh,
it was on the fall, so it's like huge like cliffs, and there was a little like dirt area that he had like picked out rocks the day before and written my name out. Yeah.
Right. Well, so how
Why
did
are you laughing? That was he went to deep thought into doing that.
No, he didn't, because we were together for 5 years, and he was always like, one day, and then he found out that we had broken up, and I was
we
asked her to marry me.
Okay, so your ex, where was your ex?
You were with someone else, right? And he basically wanted you back. Yeah, that's what happened.
Oh, that
he
is
came
not-
to the door and he figured, he lost her and he realized she was with someone else. So he went and writes her name and marry me in rocks.
Don't do that. He was doing that while no, he was in no shape, and nor were you in any shape for a proposal to be going on. And this
But
is
in movies, this works out. In movies, this always works in movies.
Oh.
Oh, it didn't. Well, I married my now husband 3 months later, so.
Oh, there you go.
Did he write it in rocks on the side of a hill?
Nope.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with writing it in rocks. But you just got to do it to the right person at the right time. See, this is the problem with marriage and wedding. This scalds my dog, and I tell you why. People are turning marriage into something that's so trivial and trite. Well, I want to get back with her. Maybe if I ask her to marry me, she'll drop her boyfriend and come. No.
Well, what if he realized that, you know what? I can't stand it with someone else. I missed out on the best thing of my life, and I realized I made a mistake. She wanted to be married, so I want to show her that I'm ready. And at that
No,
time,
it was manipulative.
The what?
It was manipulation. It was manipulative.
Yeah, it was pure and simple. This guy was trying to manipulate her.
Oh yeah.
And don't use. It's like no. It's a way too that artillery is way too big for that fight.
Yeah.
If look, I made a mistake. I really miss being with you. Could we talk about maybe, trying to work it out again? And that's the beginning. And then if you work it out, then you can ask him to marry.
Yeah, true.
What is it with you people?
But because in the movies, it always works out. You go to the person's house and you tell them you're ready, and then they fall into your arms. That's how it works.
It's in the movies.
Danielle, you're scalding his dog.
I'm scalding your dog.
I might scald my dog.
Sorry.
Amy, thank you for listening. I'm glad that you did not succumb to his
Hello, lady.
hello, lady.
Hello.
To his BS there. All right.